And welcome to another Nerd Update. I'm Paul Odd. I don't represent the Heart of Kentucky Association Realtors or anyone else. I'm with the Assurance Home Sales. This Nerd Update is going to cover from May 26th through June 1st. Let's go to the computer and check out the numbers.
So when we look at new listings, we can see that recent new listings continue to be higher than the previous 4 years, which continues to outpace houses coming off the market, which increases our total inventory. We'll get to that in a bit. And this is a larger trend than just the Heart of Kentucky area. If any of you keep up with national news, you can tell that there's quite a few articles coming out about why this is happening and why market's increasing, and we have fewer buyers seem to be transitioning to perhaps a buyer's market, um, generally defined as 6 months of inventory. I'm not seeing that in the heart of Kentucky, but if you're seeing something different than that, please let me know. When you look at total inventory, part of a larger trend, like I said, it's the highest this year and represents a little over 4 months of inventory last week. I said about 4 months. Last week was like 3.8. This week is 4.0 and something. Just hovering around the 4 month mark. So that would still indicate a seller's market here. Obviously, a seller's market is where the sellers kind of have more control over the transaction than the buyers, because there's plenty of buyers for the sellers to be able to say, this is what I want, and I'm going to keep it that way. When we look at under contract, right, it's higher than normal, higher than it's been over the last 4 years, higher than last week. The under contract in 7 days, interestingly, remained at 21% between last week and this week. We'll look at closed. We had 48, pretty well matches what we had 4 weeks ago. I think it's one off. And has been between 40 and 60 closings a week since mid-March. Right, I continue to expect this to pick up. Obviously, I haven't seen it between last week and this week, but we will wait and see what that looks like. Days on market, 2021, 2022, still down in single digits. Kind of crazy compared to the other years. We're still higher than the 2 years after that, though, right? The previous 2 years are still, days on market been quite a bit lower than they are this year. And this marks, it was 24 and then 23.5 and now 23, right? So we have a slow decline over the last 3 weeks for our median days on market. Price reductions, still 73, quite a bit higher than previous years. And I think the days on the market are influencing this, with people needing or wanting to be out of the house, not be responsible for the mortgage and move on with their life. When we look at the interest rate, it has slowly risen over the last 5 weeks at this point, but it has been under 7% for 19 weeks. For those of you paying a lot of attention, I forgot to update this number last week, so I said 17 2 weeks in a row, and I should have had 18 last week. But there we are, 19 weeks in a row, it's been under 7%, even though it has been slowly increasing. So under 7 for 19 weeks is perceived as stable rates for a lot of people, right? So this has contributed to an increase in mortgage applications. Now, I don't have a fantastic idea of why we have increased mortgage applications, but we still have growing inventory. And it's not just, like I said, not just Heart of Kentucky, but kind of nationwide. Median price, right? We've decreased numbers over the previous couple of years, and I still say stabilization would be vastly preferred to a correction in the market. Please let me know if you and your clients are seeing something different. Maybe all the houses they like come off the market real quick. I think the explanation on that would be that, the new houses, or everybody's seen what's out there, and the new houses getting snatched up. Maybe the real estate agents are doing a better job at convincing the clients to price a little ahead of the market, so that we can see some faster throughput, right? And that might also explain a lower median price, because if there's more houses on the market, you might try to differentiate yourself by a lower price. Not everybody decides to do that. Obviously, we've all seen stories all over the place where had a listing, wouldn't sell, took it off the market, put it on at a higher price than it was listed at before, sells in a week. It's very interesting industry to be in. And again, these are just aggregate numbers, and they don't call out any specific term or transaction. But if your general experience differs from this, I'd like to know. If your experience confirms this, I'd like to know that too. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and send a comment. Thanks. Have a good day.